So our next tendency that Munger brings up is from Immanuel Kant, and it's Kantian Fairness. And Immanuel Kant came up with the term categorical imperative. It is imperative that something must occur to resolve the issue. It's must occur that is key here. It absolutely is a categorical imperative that it has to happen. So, for example, if I wish to quench my thirst, I must drink water, or I must drink at least liquid to quench my thirst. I wish to acquire knowledge, so I must learn. I wish to acquire knowledge, or wish to acquire money, so I must. And money being another word for work. If I want to acquire money, I must work. That's right. That's the answer there you're looking for. It's not the one you like, but nevertheless. Kant's book, Critique of Pure Reason, is a major component of the Enlightenment that got us out of the Dark Ages and into the scientific world of today. So when we think of categorical imperatives, we need to think of it in terms of is this absolutely a must to occur? What are the categorical imperatives in this situation? So if you're going to try to make a decision, we need to know what absolutely must happen. So when I think of this kind of thing, I think of a concept that Elon Musk talks about a lot. Elon Musk being Tesla and SpaceX, and an entrepreneur and one of the greatest entrepreneurs, inventors, and or not really inventor, but entrepreneur in our age. He talks a lot about first principles. And first principles means that you can't derive anything from it. It's a first principle. So if I am human and I am a man, therefore I must be a human man. The human man part comes after the fact. The man is a must, a first principle. Human's a first principle. Pulling the two together is a derivative of the two, and so we start with the basics. So first principles, categorical imperatives. What is the core? What we're essentially trying to get to here is what is the core thing that absolutely has to happen, or that is absolutely part of this equation that must go forward. We could certainly apply this to a project where we've talked about in other classes, calculating net present values and IRRs and so on, and whether the project should go or no go. Well, if you're going to have a categorical imperative, what would be a categorical imperative in that project? One could be something like the zoning of the property must allow a building of this size. That would be a categorical imperative, because if it doesn't, we can't build the building, which means we can't start the factory, which means we can't produce the product, etc., etc. So we must be able to build a building, and the zoning must go on. We must have enough money to finish the project. If we don't have enough money to finish the project, it is a categorical imperative that we have enough money to finish the project. So these are the kinds of things that we need to examine when we're making a decision, to make sure that we understand the first principles, the very core of what must happen. And so we just ask ourselves questions about what is the core thing going on here that we absolutely have to answer. Once we know that, then we can make sure that we are accounting for it and pay attention to it, so it actually does happen, since it is a categorical imperative.